there, welcome back to day 27 of online learning. Today we're going over Unit 7, Lesson 2.2. And yesterday we came up with a rule that if you add a certain amount to one addend and subtract the same amount from the other addend, the sum will stay the same. So for example, what we were saying, that means that if we did the equation 312 plus 278, we can change this equation and say 320 plus 270. And that would mean we added 8 to 312 to get 320, but then took away 8 from 278 to get to 270. And the reason that we did these types of problems is to figure out how can we solve addition problems the easiest way. So what I did is I added 8 to get to a friendly number or a multiple of 10, but then also took away 8 to get to a multiple of 10. So it's easier to add 320 plus 270 versus 312 and 278. And we figured out that these equations will get the same sum because I added 8 to one addend, but took away 8 from the other addend. So I added the same amount to one addend as I took away from a different addend. We're going to continue with this idea of estimating addition problems. So my problem up here is 379 plus 412. I don't want you to solve this problem just yet. I want you to think about how many hundreds will this answer have. When I'm thinking about how many hundreds this answer will have, what do I need to be paying attention to in order to know how many hundreds? What am I paying attention to in this problem to figure out how many hundreds this problem will most likely have? And then also be thinking about, what does 79 and 12 tell me in this problem? Does this have anything to do with the amount of hundreds that I'm going to have? Earlier in the year, you used starter problems to help you find the answer. So what I want you to do is choose one of these starter problems to solve for 379 and 412. Just choose one of these three and think about which one of these is going to make it the easiest for you to solve the problem. So choose one of these starter problems and think about how you would finish the problem. So choose this, choose one of these to start your problem, and then think about the way that you're going to then finish the problem. So pause me now and choose one starter problem and then think about ways that you can finish the problem. What you should have done is used one of these starter problems to first get you started with 379 plus 412, and then finish up the rest of the problem. If you didn't do that, pause me now and do that now. But I'm going to go through and think about the different ways that you guys could have solved this problem. Let's say if you did the first way. So if you did 300 plus 400, you know that you're only focusing on your hundreds place. So then you would get 700 because 3 plus 4 equals 7. And then you still have your tens and ones. So you still have 79 plus 12. What you can do is what we were saying yesterday. There's a really simple way that you're able to help solve equations by adding a certain number to one addend and taking the same amount from a different addend. So instead of 79 plus 12, pause me and think about a different way that I can write this equation. I can take away 1 from 12 and then add 1 to 79 to get a friendly number of 80 plus 11. And I know that 80 plus 11, I can break it down and think about 80 plus 10 plus 1. And I know 80 plus 10 is 90, plus 1 is 91. So then I still have my hundreds, and now I have my tens and ones. So I would have 700 plus 91, which is 791. So you're able to help solve this equation by starting out with just your hundreds and then going to your tens and ones. And what I did is I added 1 to get to a friendly number, but then took away another 1 from my other addend to get to 11. And then I did 80 plus 10 plus 1 equals 91. And then 70 plus 91 equals 791. You could have also just done it by adding your tens first, so 70 plus 10, so just adding the tens to get 80. And then you could have done 9 plus 2 to get to 11. And then we figured out that 80 plus 11 is 90. 80 plus 11 is 91. Let's say you did the second starter problem. The second starter problem was 379 plus 400. And I could have used this on a number line, or I could have noticed that since there's only zeros in my ones place in 400, I'm only going to be adding a 4 to 300. So this will stay the same, and I'm only going to be changing my hundreds place. So 379 plus 400 would equal 779. And then I still have 12. So I'd have to figure out 779 plus 12. And I can break this down to be easier to do 779 plus my 10, which would be 789. And then 789, and then I would still have to think about my ones place, which is plus 2, which is 791. Now let's think of our third problem. Did anyone start with 379 plus 1? And since I'm running out of room on my board, this is where I'll be writing number 3. Did anyone start with 379 plus 1? Pause me and think about why I would do 379 plus 1 as a starter problem. So I would do 379 plus 1 because then I get to 380. And that's a simple way that now I'm near or closer to a friendly number. So now I want to think about 380. And I need to think about, where did this 1 come from? It didn't just fall from the sky, so I know that that 1 came from my 412. So I still have 411 left over, because I already used 1 to get to a friendly number. So 380 plus 411. So I can use this on a number line. I'm going to start with 380. And it's 400 plus 10 plus 1. So 380 plus 400 would be 780, plus 10 would be 790, and then plus 1 would be 791. Or I could just think about my hundreds, tens, and ones. So I know that 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, and I'm able to leave that 9 there since I don't need to regroup into my hundreds place. It's not more than 9. And then 4 plus 3 is 791. So I was able to use some of these starter problems by breaking down my number, 379 plus 412, to get numbers in ways that are a lot easier for me to solve. Your have-to today is pages 416 to 418, and we're going to continue working on starter problems. So I'm going to pull that up right now so we can go over it. Here's your have-to for today, and it's pages 416 to 418. So it's addition starter problems, and the directions are, in each set, solve all 3 starter problems, then solve the final problem. Show your solution. Use one of the starter problems to help you. So I'm going to solve all 3 of my starter problems. And in my first one, it says 100 plus 600, and I know that equals 700. Then for my second one, it says 150 plus 650. I know that 50 plus 50 is equal to 100 plus the 100 and then the 600 that I have left would be 700, and that equals 800 altogether. So first I added 50 plus 50, and then I added my hundreds. And then my next one is 152 plus 600. So 152 plus 600, I'm just focusing on my hundreds place since I have nothing in my tens and ones place over here. So 600 plus 152 would be 752. And then it says my final problem, so what I'm trying to solve, that these starter problems were supposed to help me solve, is 152 plus 683. I'm going to choose one of these to help me figure this out. So what I want to use is 152 plus 600. And I know that already is equal to 752. So 152 plus 600 is equal to 752. I still have 83 left. So I'm first going to add my ones place. So 752 plus 3 is equal to 755. And then I still have my tens place. So I still have 80 left. So 755 plus 80. And I'm going to use a number line to help me solve this. So 755 and I'm going to add plus 40 because I know that will get me 755 plus 40 would be 795. And now I'm going to add 10 because then I'll know it's 805. And then I still have 30 left that I need to add. All I did is broke down my tens place into numbers that are easier for me to add. So 805 plus 30 would be 835. So my answer that I'm going to write right here is 835. So all I did is I used one of my starter problems to help me solve my final problem. But I need to solve all of them first and then think about which one is going to be easiest for me to use. Let's take a look at your have-to for today. So your have-to for today is, for number 1, to complete all of pages 416 to 418, which is the addition starter problems, and show your work for every problem, just like I just showed you on Kami. And then you need to do 15 minutes of IXL for only the highlighted skills. In order to get a 3, you need to do all the problems on pages 416 to 418, show your work, and do 15 minutes on IXL on only the highlighted skills.